Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the former Vice President of the United States, Al Gore.
Thank you very much. Love that music. I want to give a shout out to all of the winners of the Global Challenge. I met with them before coming here. I want to congratulate all of you for being a part of this outstanding group. I hope you have a wonderful experience here. Some of you are in the last days of your visit, others are in the first days of your visit here, but it's a fantastic opportunity, and I wish you the best. This topic of the climate crisis and the solutions to the climate crisis is a difficult topic. So before I start showing you the pictures, I want to just give you a little preface. You will be invited by these pictures to think about the world as a whole, and you will see some images and hear some stories that can be a little scary, because the consequences of global warming are already beginning to occur and will continue to occur. But our challenge is to stop the causes of global warming and to limit the damage that is being done and adapt to the damage that has already been done as the long, slow process of healing the Earth's environment begins. But after you see those images, I want you to know that there will be a great many images and stories about the solutions and about how you can be involved and about all of the great things that are beginning to happen around the world. And my view is that in order to solve a big problem, you have to first of all be willing to look at it clearly, with courage, understand exactly what's going on, and then summon the determination and courage and passion to solve it. And those your age have the greatest opportunity of all. You know, I remember when I was younger than you guys, I was 13 years old when I heard a former president of my country, John F. Kennedy, issue his famous challenge to put a person on the moon and bring him back safely again within 10 years. And I remember hearing some of the adults in that day and age saying that they thought that was a mistake for him to issue that challenge because it was going to be expensive, it was going to be difficult, it had never been done before, it was kind of outlandish. 10 years, come on. Well, 8 years and 2 months later, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin set foot on the surface of the moon. And the moment they did so, in Houston, Texas, at NASA's Mission Control, there was a great cheer that went up, as you can imagine. Here's what a lot of people don't know. Those in that room that day, the systems engineers, had an average age of 26. Now think about that for a moment, because it means that when the challenge was issued, their average age was 18. And they decided to be a part of that great endeavor. And the greatest endeavor facing us is to solve the climate crisis. And we can solve it. We will solve it. And in solving it, we will find the solution to lots and lots of other challenges. But it's big. And it's not going to be easy. Sorry about that. President Kennedy said in that speech in 1961, he said, after he issued the challenge, he said, "We do it not because it's easy, but because it's hard." Well, this is extremely hard. And here's why it's so unprecedented. Global warming is the single most important manifestation, symptom, if you will, of a collision between global civilization as we've currently organized it. We didn't intend to do this, but it came out this way. And this collision is happening because of three factors that have coincided. Number one, the population of the planet has quadrupled in just the last century. Pretty amazing. In fact, if you go back to the beginning of when the scientists say human beings first emerged in the form we have now, 200,000 years ago, it took 200,000 years before we got a population of 1 billion people. We added 1 billion people in the first 13 years of this century. And we're going to add another billion in the next 14 years. And another billion 15, 16 years after that. And it's going to level off because we're having some success in educating girls, empowering women, reducing child mortality, and making fertility management available around the world. Those four things lead to smaller families and longer lives and stable population dynamics. The last century, really the last half century even more dramatically, coal and oil and other fossil fuels have become the source of energy for 85% of all the energy used on the planet, and it releases CO2, and that traps heat. And then the third factor, along with population and technology, is our way of thinking. In the lunch session that we just had, somebody asked about short-term thinking. That's a big problem. Politicians are focused on the short term. Businesses, too frequently, are focused on the short term, not the three businesses that I mentioned here a moment ago. And actually, business is beginning to change more broadly. But short-term thinking causes us to ignore the long-term consequences of what we're doing. We had a financial crisis a few years ago. And some of the bankers that engaged in activities that helped to create that problem, some of the traders, they used an acronym in their emails back and forth that I hadn't heard before.